Well, normally I like to make my videos outside and in the nature, and you know, especially when it's a nice day like it is today. It's a little windy out there, but I need my computer for this video. I got a lot of notes. A couple days ago, one day last week, I made a video on my main channel, Ouachita Mountain Living, and I was just wondering if anybody had noticed that the birds weren't as plentiful or totally missing, because I had filled my bird feeders the normal time of year that I usually do, and well, they're still full. And I got an unbelievable amount of comments, probably upwards of 6,000. I know. That video went absolutely crazy, and I made another one, because it goes way much deeper than just birds. And until people started commenting, I never really paid much attention to anything other than the birds, and I just barely noticed that. But around the time that I kind of noticed the birds disappearing, my chickens decide they're not going to come out of their coops anymore. They have a big yard, a couple of big yards they can go into. You know, not huge, but they're usually outside on nice days, and still to this day, they're still inside, even in nice weather. They will not come out. The only time they come out is if I throw a little scratch in there, or they come out and get their water. But they stay in there all day, and they've never done that. And I have worked around chickens for years, and I've never seen them do this. And another person also commented that their chickens were doing the same thing, and they'd never seen it. Weird stuff, guys. So I've been reading up about it. And what it's called is the Great Silence Theory. Okay, let me read to you what they say it is. The Great Silence Theory proposes that the earth is becoming unnaturally quiet. Birds, insects, frogs, small animals, and even background noise are disappearing. And nobody is giving straight answers about why. Does anybody have any answers? I mean, and come to think of it, I have not heard coyotes. I couldn't tell you, and believe me, I used to hear them all the time around here. So something weird has to be going on. I just cannot. My dogs, whenever coyotes go off, they go off. And it hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. In fact, my dogs haven't barked at anything at nighttime in a long time. Sometimes that is a sign when nature goes silent. It's a sign some kind of a natural disaster may be getting ready to happen. They have an instinct where they can detect this stuff. I have no idea, but here's some of the things people are saying. They're not seeing anymore, but some people are saying everything's fine where they live. Even in my own state, people not far away are saying, oh, they're here. It just makes me wonder, are they really there in the numbers that they always were? Or are they hanging out in certain areas? Maybe it's some part of regional areas that don't have a strong feeling. You tell me. I have no idea. But here's a few things people are saying. As far as sounds that they're not hearing is the morning bird songs. Not hearing them. I got my crows out there every morning. That's about it. My crows. Humming insects. Didn't have a lot of those this summer. Frogs in the evening. I can't recall hearing frogs, period. We always heard them in the spring, but that was in spring. But I don't recall. I can't tell you the last time I've heard frogs. And I'm around kind of around a creek, so I always heard frogs around here. Owls at night, that's, not hearing that's nothing strange. Woodpeckers, crows, and thrushes. Well, I hear woodpeckers and I hear crows, so I have those things. Some are saying it's like somebody muted the forest. And then this is when I found this part of the research. It's bird feeders are staying full. Many people are reporting their bird feeders are not being touched when they're normally being touched this time of year. And I've been feeding my birds every single year for the last 11 years. I pull the feeders in March. Okay, I let the birds eat naturally. I pull them in March, and I don't fill them again until usually the first week of November. This week or year I filled it maybe a week early towards the Halloween time. And they haven't been touched since. I haven't filled them. I mean, I haven't needed to fill them because they're still full. They should be empty every other day by now, and they're not. Insects is another thing people are reporting that there's a shortage of. Now, where I live, you don't go out much in the summer because the bugs, they eat you alive. And it just wasn't that way this year. It was pretty mild when it comes to the bugs. June bugs, I didn't see any this year. Usually you see June bugs around May or so. Didn't see any this year, but I don't think I've really seen a whole lot of those here anyway. The bats eat them up pretty quick. Cicadas, didn't hear those at all this year. Not one time. Last year we had the big invasion of them. I've got that on camera. But I don't recall hearing the cicadas at all. No fireflies this year. Didn't see a one. I always see those here in the summer. Wasps, this is something I had mentioned. No red wasps. I fight those things every year. I get stung at least 3 or 4 times every single year by red wasps. None. But we did have these little black wasps that I've never seen before on my property. They were like mud daubers. And I think that's what they were, was mud daubers. I had never seen them before. They took over. And the red wasps, I would see one occasionally, but I wouldn't see a big nest of them, a hive of them. Usually there were hives of them. And I was doing construction on a doorway, and I pulled a piece of the old house off so I could put a new facing on it. And there was a huge wasp colony in there that was from the past, because they usually go back to the same spots. There was no activity in there at all. Dragonflies, every single August, around the beginning of August, or I believe it is the end of July, we are absolutely bombarded with dragonflies here. I mean, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. I look out over my yard and the entire sky is moving. You're afraid to walk through them. You know, I'm not afraid of them, but that's how thick they are. Didn't see any of them this year. None. They didn't even show up. They show up every single year, and they always have. Houseflies, I had them. They just weren't as bad as normal. Usually I got them in here year round, and I'll see one occasionally, but it hasn't been a bad year for that. And at nighttime, you know, no frogs, no crickets, very little cricket activity. You know, no owls, no rustling, no coyotes. I have heard coyotes a few times, but nothing, man. You would hear them almost every night here. Right a little bit after dusk, you would hear them. And then maybe around midnight or so, I mean, they would go off at various times. And no bats. I always had the bats out there at my security light. Don't recall seeing any this year. Now, they have swapped those out to LED lights, and I heard the bats don't like those. So that could be a possibility there. Animals behaving strangely. There's reports of deer appearing less. Well, I hear gunshots, people hunting right now, and people are getting deer. I had a deer that was showing up. This is a strange one. I had a deer show up here this summer, and it was in several of I talked about it in several of my videos this summer. But it would show up over on that piece of property on the side where I cleared last spring and hang out. And it liked to watch the dogs, and it was not afraid of me at all. I could walk pretty close to it, and then it would take off. But it would show up every single day, and I haven't seen it lately. It's probably on somebody's dinner plate now. But I'd never had a deer act like that, and I had some people comment that yes, that they've had deer do that, and I do know in urban areas, deer will get a lot tamer when they're around more people, but that doesn't happen where I live. I mean, a deer sees you, they're going to run. Raccoons. I have not seen one raccoon probably in 2 years at least. I leave the day before I have to take my trash to the dumpster, which our county supplies dumpsters for free. I usually put them in the back of my pickup truck. And years past, I would do that, and the raccoons would get in them. And that hasn't happened in a long time here. But I am in a national forest area. I am on the outskirts of a national forest, so they don't really need to come in to where people live for food. They have a huge wildlife area. So that doesn't really, do much for me there. I did see a possum the other night till he had it cornered, but he looked horrible. I mean, he looked, and then I had a possum get in the chicken pen last winter. Same thing, he just looked old and horrible, and I had to take care of him because he would not leave, and he kept coming back. You can't have possums in with your chickens. They will kill them. And I don't like taking care of possums. They're good to have around. Domestic animals staring into the woods with forward ears. I haven't really noticed my dogs acting strange. Lily sometimes will stare off to a distance, but that's Lily. I don't know. Possible explanations people theorize, okay? Environmental shift theory. Something in the environment, magnetic fields, atmospheric pressure, or earth resonance, whatever that means, may change animal behavior. Pole shifting, things like that, I don't know. And there are some wild theories out there people have, let me tell you. I couldn't possibly read all those comments. I'm slowly going through them, but man, there's just so many. I get more than 100 comments on a video. It's hard to keep up. Some people believe the planet has a natural signal or frequencies animals tune into. If something interrupts that, solar activity, cosmic rays, atmospheric change, it affects animals first. Now, we have had solar activity, cosmic rays. I also brought up the fact in a second video that maybe this three-eye atlas is throwing off something that's making these things, that's spooking things. Because when it went around the sun, it did all kinds of crazy things, and there were a lot of solar flares, and I guess there's more to come. And you could see northern lights in places you don't normally see them. But we've had that stuff before without a three-eye atlas. So that could be a possibility that the sun is doing some wild stuff and the animals are picking up on it. Maybe they're just afraid. Signal interference theory. Some believe the planet has a natural signal. Oh, I just read that. Okay, edit that out. I won't do it. You'll see. Okay, they're also saying it could be a precursor to a major natural event, a major earthquake, volcanic eruption, atmospheric shift, solar storm. That pretty much is about what the first thing said, but here's one a lot of people are saying. 5G expansion. Starlink satellite grid, he's putting up a lot of those darn Starlinks, and there could be something to that. You've got all these satellite stuff going on. It's probably freaking out the natural senses of these animals. Between 5G and Starlink, poor things are probably going nuts. Too many communication towers. We got a lot of them. Radar. ELF, extremely low frequency signals. These could disrupt birds' magnetic orientation or insect navigation. Now the insects, people, you live out like I do, you're constantly washing your windshield, and I just haven't been having to do that. Very little dead bugs on the windshield, and everybody has been saying that in the comments. So I don't know what all's going on. Maybe nothing is going on. Maybe it's a bit of pareidolia through the mind. I don't know. One guy suggests something and all the others believe it. I don't know. But I can tell you the birds aren't eating. things do feel different. I don't know what it is. Something feels different. It's like we're on the verge of something that's going to happen. Don't know what. None of us know what it will be. Maybe it will be nothing. Maybe this is a cycle that the earth goes through every 100 years, and we have never experienced something like this, but others in the past have. But they're not alive today to tell us about it, or maybe they didn't notice, but I would say they would notice more than people today would notice. And a lot of people don't notice because people are busy with their lives. They're running around, taking their kids here, doing this. People are too busy to notice what is going on in nature, but I'm not. I'm out there every day taking care of my animals. I'm out there every day walking my property. I notice when something isn't the same. I notice when something is different. And it is. It's creepy. I have no clue. So in a nutshell, people are saying background noise is missing, the ambient life turned off, static removed from the world. The forest feels watched, like the world is paused and something is holding its breath. I don't know. You guys love this kind of stuff. And I'm sure, you know, I don't want to keep making videos about it, but it's an ongoing thing. And I like reading the comments, as many as I can possibly read. You know, this is a good way. Think about it. This is a good way for all of us around the world to chime in and say, hey, yes, it's happening here. It's happening here. Otherwise, how would you know where it's happening, where it's not happening? I like to hear where it's not happening. But who are these people that are reporting, oh, we have birds, we still have all this? Are they busy in life? Or do they pay attention to this? Have they paid attention to this for years? Do they notice if there's something missing from where they live? Some people don't even take notice of this at all. They just want to go to the shopping center. And is all they want to do, and go eat their Taco Bell. I don't know. And here's a global report. Okay, well, this will be the last thing I talk about. Europe. Here's what they're saying around the globe. In Europe, they're saying the forests are going silent. Canada says birds are missing in autumn. Well, they probably fly south. Australia, insects are down 70%. And I also mentioned that, I didn't mention that they're saying chemtrails. A lot of people are saying it's the chemtrails. U.S., fewer backyard birds everywhere. That's basically all I'm saying is the backyard birds, the cardinals, the blue jays, the finches, all these little birds that go tweedle, tweedle, tweet. Not the crows. Those are the ones I'm missing, the ones that eat out of my feeders. Crows don't fly up to my feeders. They'll knock the dang thing over and try to spill it. I've seen them do it. Rural areas hearing nothing at dusk. Last night I made a video towards that time and it was dead silent. If I go out right after dark, it is dead silent out there, which this time of year it usually is. There's not many things making noises, but I at least hear some wildlife all the time, and I'm not hearing it. Let me know what you think. Let's keep this going. I'll alternate between this channel and my main channel. I don't want to bombard my main channel with the same video, the same subject every single day. So we can bounce back and forth. If you guys are interested in this, we'll bounce back and forth between the channels and we'll keep an eye on what's going on. You guys can report to me what you're witnessing there. It's just weird. It's just weird, and I need to get to the bottom of it. Okay, so I can fix this stuff. And you're going to help me. Thanks for watching. Happy trails.